A white woman beaten unconscious. A black mob jumping a couple in broad daylight. And instead of outrage, the city actually defended it. No arrests at first. Just excuses, spin, and praise for the attackers. Same thing. You got to be ready for this before this video gets taken down or something and nobody can see it. This woman didn't get pushed. She got knocked out cold, bruised, battered, swollen shut. But here's the catch. When the mob's the wrong skin color, the media is mute. Ask yourself, would this be a trending story or some sort of national emergency if she were black? Just wait. The vice mayor has the nerve to explain it all the way, like it's no big deal.
But the conversation turns to this one incident, adults fighting at 3 a.m. This is not who we are. But the conversation turns to this one incident, adults fighting at 3 a.m. This is not who we are. But the conversation turns to this one incident, adults fighting at 3 a.m. This is not who we are.
One incident of adults fighting? Lady, this ain't a backyard scuffle. This was a targeted ambush. What are you talking about? What? You've got a city leader brushing off hate crimes like it's a parking lot argument. The hell is wrong with her? This is what happens when DEI infects common sense, I'll tell you that. Justice get replaced with excuses. And just when you think the gaslighting couldn't go any deeper, the family of the attacker steps in with the whole
Now, if you remember Chief Terry Thiegy, more to the story, here's what Montiana's Merriweather's mother had to say outside of court.
These Russians was walking down the street, and on the video, he said, "You want to mess with these Russians?" And he smacked the first guy, but it wasn't like they thugs. My child is in school. He had 5 kids. He's on the B honor roll in school.
5 kids?
And he's not the thug that they put out in there to be.
Now, if you remember...
Well, I don't know how old this guy is, so... But when she said he was in school, I guess I was like, what? He like college, 5 kid? Like, I don't know what more. Anywho, she said he's a bright young scholar. The man's being charged with felonious assault. And now he's the one misunderstood. Yeah, he's the genius of the week. Same thing. Every single time. Same script. Different city. When do we stop pretending like consequences don't matter? But if you want to see where this mindset really comes from, look no further than the institutions actually feeding it.
Law enforcement, you come across this video. Somebody need to be fired. Over the weekend in downtown Cincinnati, Ohio, 2025 Jazz Festival, a white man got jumped so bad by a group of black people. It's not even shocking. It makes you fucking angry where, man, your head want to pop open. They stomped and kicked this man. I mean, I can't even show the video on my platform because TikTok will censor me, probably ban my account. And if you come across the video, that's how that shit makes you so mad. A white woman who was sitting up here from a distance, seen this shit, try to come over and de-escalate the situation, and a black dude come over, for what I see in the video, soccer punched her, knocked her unconscious, eyes open, blood streaming on the street. The white man tried to get up, stumbling and shit. They kicked and stomped. Man, they beat this man bad. It don't matter what was the situation. This is why I'm probably like one of the many, as a black man, who don't be on that color shit. I don't even have people around me. No friends, but not even whisper none of that shit. But it's people like this that helps drive the biggest knife in this country. And Democrats are all for it because it's so shocking. None of the mainstream power outlets of news media, CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, PBS, none of them are covering the video. Police in Cincinnati, Ohio. Somebody needs to be fired. Let it be the other way around. Y'all will air this shit like it ain't no tomorrow. A lot of white people are not like that. A lot of black people ain't like that. It's these type like this that try to keep that knife in between people. This is why a lot of people can't go out and have a good time. They strapped, they got guns to protect their loved ones, to protect their kids, but you don't even want to go to this shit. Whether you young, middle age, and older, God forbid, if you were older and you was in there participating in that shit, man, Cincinnati, they don't need to see the light of day no more. And I mean that on everything.
I mean, exactly. I've seen somebody post something along the lines of, matter of fact, instead of saying that, I'm going to just show y'all. Hold on, where we at? This, yeah, I got to make sure I get it all in line for you. So Victoria Parks posted, they begged for the beatdown. I'm grateful for the whole story. Wow. She has been a member of the Cincinnati City Council since 2022. Y'all want to see next level evil? This is it. Whoa. Slow down.
In the middle of your screen, Montanez Merriweather was indicted earlier this month on other felony charges. According to Cincinnati's police union, which sounded off on the court system saying Merriweather only had to pay $400 to post bail and walk out of jail on those previous charges. In the horrific video, you can see a white man being repeatedly punched and kicked by a group of black men and women in downtown Cincinnati on Saturday at around 3 a.m. Then you see a woman get knocked out cold with blood on her face, and bystanders are just recording on their phones instead of stepping in. Cincinnati's police chief, Teresa Thigi, said only one person called 911 in a crowd of 100 or so people. But police haven't said what led to the fight, and the outrage continues to grow as people demand to know why the brutal attack even took place. U.S. Republican Senator John Husted from Ohio said he talked with 3 of the victims.
I called all 3 of them. There may have been more in conversations with them. They didn't understand why. I know maybe more facts will come out in this situation, but this is the point that's true. This is happening in America across our cities like it did in Cincinnati. It's not tolerable.
So the police chief said at a public safety meeting last night that she will not tolerate lawlessness on the streets of Cincinnati.
Okay.
Morning, we've learned the FBI has now opened an investigation into that vicious brawl, as 3 out of the 5 suspects who've been arrested so far are expected to be arraigned this morning.
Okay, I wanted to make sure we got the very beginning of that, but Victoria Parks, she said they begged for that beat down. You can't make this up. The city council or a city official praising racial violence like his activism. These people aren't leaders, man. They're arsonists with office titles, right? And this is what DEI culture produces: rage without responsibility. And finally, the one person with the guts to call it for what it really is.
Incident that happened in Cincinnati, Ohio. I've been watching comments and videos and stuff. But my confusion is, why hasn't this been deemed a hate crime? Why? Why hasn't this been deemed a hate crime? Jumping a woman, a man, socking a woman, and a bunch of other men just laughing and recording and hooting and hollering. Why aren't these people in jail, Cincinnati PD? And I know people in the Cincinnati PD. Why aren't these people in jail for life, the rest of their lives? I can see them on the video.
Right.
You should be able to identify these folks. These people behaving this way. This is a hate crime. Solve it.
Hate crime. That's what it was. And it took, this man right here with a phone to say what the government refused to admit. If this had been a white mob attacking black people, the FBI would be on site. Thank God that, we've learned since then they've made some arrests. The only color that mattered in this case was red from the blood that was on that pavement. But let's land this with the realest voice of them all. This man broke it all the way down. I mean, raw, unfiltered, y'all. Pete.
We're going to talk about the Cincinnati Brawl, but I want to issue a respectful warning to everybody. If you're going to get in the comment section and post your opinion, to make sure you stay respectful. No disrespect allowed in my comment section. It's okay to have your opinion, but it's not okay to get disrespectful and or start disrespecting somebody else in the comment section just because they don't agree with you. Now, about this Cincinnati Brawl, I feel like motherfuckers was super fucked up and they know they was bogus as hell that the way that they did that man. And then for all of those people to be just standing around hyperactive and loud and screaming and yelling and video recording it instead of trying to stop everybody from beating on this man, knowing damn well, for one, you can end up losing your freedom and don't end up losing your freedom. If people cared about you, they would have thought about that, because depending on that man's injuries, depend on the type of charges that people are going to be looking at. And for two, people should have been sitting there thinking about what type of damage they could have did to that man. And not only that, y'all already did enough damage. It only took one person to fight that man. It ain't never fair when you got more than one person fighting another person and people just around beating on people and stomping on people. And when this man on the ground kicking him in his face and doing all of that shit. If this was a black brother that was getting beat on inside of a community that was majority white, with the people that was around that was beating on them and kicking on them and stomping on them and doing all of that shit, people wouldn't care what that black brother had said and or did. People would have cared about the fact that all of these white brothers shouldn't be jumping on this black brother, and that's fucked up because it only takes one person to fight somebody. And if it take you two of them to take two people, take two people. But people will not agree with somebody brutally beating somebody the way that people stood out there beating this white brother. People have got to start trying to do for other people the same thing that you would want done for yourself. And if that was a black brother out there and there was white brothers around, ain't no way in the fuck I would have wanted them to be beating on and kicking and stomping that young man like that out there in the goddamn street. And I don't want people beating and stomping on a white brother out there in the goddamn street. Absolutely. He might have said something offensive. I have no idea what went on, and I don't believe other people have said what went on. But no matter what went on, everybody knows that nobody should have been out there stomping and beating on that man the way that they did. And they damn sure know that they shouldn't have put their hands on that lady that was up there trying to break things up, especially that man that clocked her in her face and knocked her out. And while those people that actually put their hands on that man probably think those people that was video recording and rooting them on and screaming, yeah, had your best interests at heart, they didn't have your best interests at heart, because now think about the charges that you're about to face, and they could have stopped you from receiving those charges. You see a good friend is somebody that has your best interests at heart. They're going to help you to get out of a charge, not encourage you to catch a charge, because everybody out there rooting you on knew damn well the more you beat on that man and the more people got involved, the harsher the charges was going to be for you. Bet you neither one of your good friends out there stopped to tell you, hey, think about your kids that you got to go home to. Think about your kids. If you end up losing your freedom, how you going to be there for your kids? And I bet you they didn't think about your jobs. Each and every last one of them deserve all of the charges that they got coming that way, because all of y'all should have had enough common sense to know not to beat on that man in the middle of the street and or to beat on that man the way that you did. And each and every last one of y'all know that you was wrong. I know somebody's going to say, but hey, what about the times when there was white people that was beating on black people, or when people do wrong by black people? Then we face that when it happens, and people get up and they talk about it and they face that injustice when it happens. That don't mean to ignore the injustice that just happened to this man by getting beat on the way that he just got beat on. And like I said, even if that man said something out of pocket to one of y'all or a group of y'all, it only take one person to put their hands up and go toe to toe, man to man, and not take 10, 20 people or however many people was out there beating and stumping on this man.
You said it right. It don't take 20 people to handle one man. And if this was a black man stunned by a group of white boys, you see protests, you see news vans, politicians on the ground, all of it, the whole spill. Instead, we get in silence. And this isn't about race. It's about who's allowed to get away with it. And in Democrat cities, that ass ain't hard to figure out. When black folks act up like this, man, and this is a distinction. You got black people and you got niggas. I gotta say it. I don't care. I mean, when they act up in the city class for it, it's not just lawlessness, it's planned, man. And they tell you this isn't who we are. I'll tell you, look them exactly in the eye and say, this is exactly who you are. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.